Welcome back, everybody, to the 1987 Supermod. My name is Brad Drake, and this is my AWA save. Today, we are on episode 17, and we are hosting tour date number 77. This is big news for us as we travel to Chicago, my home area, on this exciting AWA tour. The Midnight Rockers and the Midnight Express are going to be in the main event. We're going to see Dick Slater versus Jimmy Snuka. The Terrorists, Jack Victory versus Jerry Blackwell. Kevin Kelly once again battles DJ Peterson. Russ Francis is going to climb in against Big Bobby Duncombe. Eddie Guerrero and Mike Graham are going to put on a technical wrestling display. And Debbie Combs is going to wrestle Medusa Michelli. That match could go either way, as we know. Let's go ahead and get to our main screen, and let's get right into it, folks. Some previous news that we didn't go over. Looks like the UWF hired Brad Rangans. We talked about Brad Rangans briefly at the end of the last episode, and I wonder if we shouldn't try to get Brad Rangans. It might not be possible with the WWF. I think we have a nasty feud going with them, but we can look into bringing Rangans back to the AWA. I know he did come back in 1988, and in 88, 89, he actually tagged with Ken Patera when he came back as the Olympians. So here we go. Let's click forward. We're rolling through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we're going all the way to Friday. So we'll keep our eye out here to see if anything exciting happens. The Mighty Thor was a Windy City guy. He was in pretty good shape, big dude. I don't know if he really went on to anywhere after that, but he did have a unique and a good look for that time period. All right. I always like to check the other tours, see what's going on, see if anything major catches our eye. World Class has a new team. How much do you want to bet this is going to be some shitty team? Little John and Gilbert Guerrero, two enhancement talents. Little John was a giant guy with no wrestling skill. Gilbert Guerrero was a career enhancement talent guy for World Class, and they're going to be called the One Percenters. Boy, that just is exciting as it can get. All right, WWF wrestled on the Madison Square Garden channel. Hulk Hogan defeated Hercules in the main event. Pretty good stuff. The Heenan family against Junkyard Dog and Tom Zink. In real life, Tom Zink had already gone nuts here and left the WWF. So let's make a note on our notepad to release him from the WWF. On a upcoming episode, we will go how we actually tied that into the narratives. So the average player will see that on the main screen and know when it's time to release Tom Zink from the WWF if they choose to. All right. They also had a Superstars recording. There it is. Volkov takes out Patera by DQ. Randy Savage over an enhancement talent still gets 85. Nice. WWF also had a live event tour. King Kong Bundy, not Ping Pong Bundy, but King Kong Bundy versus Junkyard Dog in the main event. Jake Roberts beats the Ultimate Warrior. Ooh, that did not look like a good live event. Let's see what the NWA did. The Rock and Roll Express beat Garvin and Wyndham. Now somebody turned heel here because normally that would be two face teams. Ric Flair beats Bubba Rogers for the World Heavyweight title. It's an interesting show. Again, we made that mistake and got them a pay-per-view deal, so now it's on pay-per-view. What are you going to do? It's not perfect, but we learned from it. So, well, let's see what's in our inbox here. Eddie Guerrero does a one-night deal with JCP. That's fine. Let's move along to Wednesday. Coco Negro. That's a hell of a mask. It looks like something you'd see nowadays, and this is 35 years ago. Wow. I see some influence on today's modern wrestlers from that mask. All right, All Japan had some action. They're in the second part of the Summer Action Series. There it is. Baba and Destroyer are still the PWF World Tag Team Champions. Yatsu's still the NWA International Heavyweight Champion. Riki Choshu still got the PWF World Heavyweight title. This is going to be fun when we do the part in 1988 when All Japan pulls out of the NWA and unifies the titles. It's pretty interesting, and actually I'll probably do an entire show dedicated to it because there's a lot of work involved, and it's going to be an exciting thing to do when we get to it. Let's see what happened on Worldwide Wrestling. Lex Luger over Manny Fernandez. Nice. All right, moving right along to Thursday. Pork Chop Cash. That was a territory guy. He made some money. He had some success in the South. Absolutely. One hell of a name, too, Pork Chop Cash. Any of you know anybody nicknamed Pork Chop? I don't. But I think I'm going to nickname somebody Pork Chop. I think that'd be a really good nickname for somebody. All right. Who's Kid McCoy? English wrestler. He wins the World Lightweight Championship. Congratulations, Kid McCoy. Unfortunately, I don't know who you are. Kendo Nagasaki, I do know who you are. And he wins the British middleweight title. Good for him. All-American Wrestling. Tom Zank over Nelson Veu. There's Billy Anderson making the appearance. He was a good friend of Ultimate Warriors. It's apparently how he ended up in the WWF. Enhancement guy, of course. NWA, Flair over Nikita Koloff. In the main event, Rock and Roll Express defeat the Midnight Express. Nice, solid card. Only 865 in Florida. Wow. All right, we're rolling over to Friday here. Remember, there is no television this week because of the fact that we taped the previous week. So next week, we will have television again. And as you know, those are pretty long shows, but they're fun. They're fun to do. Ooh, Strong Kobayashi opened his own academy. He recently retired from his Japanese promotion, and now he opened up an academy. Good for him. All right, let's go through to make sure that our tour is in the system, because I have made that mistake before. And right there, see, we do not have Friday in the system, so we would have missed it. Okay, so we continue, save and continue, and we put in 77 Friday night. I'm glad I checked because we almost skipped right through that. This happens when you're doing a lot of these events at once. You forget, you overlook stuff. But I found the best way to do this when you're starting your own tour again from scratch, when you wipe out the preset schedule, which was the real schedule, your best way to do it is a month at a time or a couple weeks at a time. If you try to go months ahead, you'll start making mistakes. Okay, so let's double check that we're in the system. We are. And oh, we got a user point to spend. Very nice. What do you think here? What should we go with? Negotiating, motivating, creativity, silver tongue. I'm going to go with negotiating. We're going to make the save there. Who knows how long that's been sitting there? I probably wasn't paying attention. So, all right, let's get into this hot card. There's John Coball. And if I remember correctly, we added some Chicago venues, so this should not be a problem. So we're looking from 4,000 to 5,000. Excellent. And let's find us a Chicago location. And it looks like we did it again, and we don't have a Chicago location. Let's go up to 6,000, see what we get. There's the Odeum. That's where ECW used to run in the 90s. Okay, we're going to go in the Gentile Center here That's 5,200. That is one of the ones we added, I believe. So we are going to run here. Knew I wasn't crazy. All right, we're starting off with Dangerous Debbie Combs versus Medusa Michelli. Oh, how could I forget? We have incidents awaiting us. If you've ever tried to set a card without dealing with the incidents, you'll know what kind of trouble that causes. Frankie DeFalco, the guy that's never here. Very nice of him. Bought a free drink card for everybody. It's very kind of him. And look at that. Frankie's actually not working for the WWF tonight. I'm in shock. All right, so we got Combs. Dangerous Debbie Combs versus Medusa Michelli here. 10-minute bout. I like Debbie Combs. I like Medusa Michelli. As we talked about before, Combs is a serious contender in my book for the women's world title. We'll see what happens. Medusa Michelli has got slowed momentum. We're going to put her in a cheating win over Debbie Combs here. She needs it. Let's see if Debbie complains. She does not. Good. We're solid. Next, the Nasty Boys versus the Top Guns. We've been seeing this match over the last few weeks. It is a good match. We enjoy it. Well, we enjoy it. I don't know how good it is. They're both pretty green yet. We all know exactly what would happen in this match. That the Nasty Boys would just physically beat the shit out of the Top Guns. And I'm doing that thing again where I'm long booking here and I don't have to. We know exactly that he would just beat the shit out of them. And probably wouldn't be pretty. So we're going to leave this up to the computer to decide who wins. Eddie Guerrero versus Mike Graham, also 12 minutes. And from what we saw, Mike Graham is available. I have more than once shared my opinion on these two wrestlers. This would have been a hell of a match in 1987, especially with a young Eddie Guerrero getting that kind of experience to be in the ring with Mike Graham. In fact, we're going to bump this match up to 14, and we're going to take Francis versus Duncombe down a notch to 12. They deserve more time. We know we're just using Francis to feed Bobby Duncombe here. There's Big Bobby Duncombe. Again, one of my all-time AWA favorites. We also got a thing going on in the TV tapings where we got him tagging with Dick Slater a little. So we're going to keep playing with that. Kevin Kelly versus DJ Peterson. Again, I don't care who wins this match, but we will pay attention to see if any of them need a win. No, neither one needs a win. Their momentum is okay, so we'll let the computer decide that one. Jack Victory versus Jerry Blackwell, as we've talked about before. Blackwell cannot go over 15 minutes. And right there, we are booked up. Jerry Blackwell's going to get the win. He was a fan favorite in Chicago. They really liked him. All the AWA venues, their fans, the cities, the towns, they all liked Jerry Blackwell. He was a popular guy. Slater versus Snuka again. This one goes 18. And let's see if Dick Slater needs a win. He does not. He has a very hot momentum. That's good. Here's Jimmy Snuka. White hot. As we know, Jimmy Snuka sells the most gear for us, and he is one of our top wrestlers. Now here we go with some fun. It's the Midnight Express The tag champs defending the titles against the Midnight Rockers. We have done a cage before in other towns. I don't feel like doing a cage here, but let's give them 30 minutes because this is one hell of a match. And we're going to be smart. We're going to bring up our tag teams. What are you thinking, folks? You want to leave this booking decision up to the AI? You want to see if the Rockers can go ahead and win back the tag title? I'm not going to do it. It's too soon. It's too soon. So we are going to give Shawn Michaels the win by DQ. And we're going to do that same finish that we saw on TV. We are not. We are not going to do the same finish as we saw on TV. We are going to have him get a count out finish. Okay? It is going to go as an epic, a nice long match. And there we go. So the Rockers will get a win, but they will not get a tag title change, obviously. So our card is set. We're looking good. We're looking clean. Let's just do one quick check, make sure we got everything right. We did. We changed around some times. We talked about that. So let's go ahead and get rolling here. Start the show. All right, nice little match here. And again, it's only a 32 score, but both of them are going to gain in popularity. This is no problem. Ooh, the Top Guns get the win for the first time in a long time. After the Nasty Boys probably beat the living shit out of them. Especially because the Nasty Boys were new wrestlers at this point and probably really beat the shit out of people because they didn't know any better. All right, Eddie Guerrero versus Mike Graham. Mike Graham gets the win with his Boston Crab. That's a nice match for two guys that are not too pronounced in the city of Chicago. And of course, Bobby Duncan's going to get the win over Russ Francis. Bobby Duncan with an 86. Very nice, very nice. 64 overall. We'll take it. Well, Kevin Kelly gets the win over DJ Peterson. All right. Kevin Kelly's got some better popularity in the Great Lakes territory. So that's all right. Jerry Blackwell with a 69. Very nice. 63 overall. We couldn't ask for better with those two. Jimmy Snuka gets the win again with the Superfly Splash over Dick Slater. I'm sure a match like that in 1987 in person going 18 minutes was one hell of a match because both these guys could go. I've talked at length about both of them, but I really think the world of Dick Slater. That guy he was like the Funks. He sold like the Funks. He just made everybody look like $1,000,000. And people can say what they want about Jimmy Snuka. I know what's come out in the last few years about his personal issues, and I get it. It definitely looks like this guy may have committed a horrible crime. We just will never fully know, and it is a horrible thing, but you can't take away from the fact that Jimmy Snuka was a world-class talent in the wrestling ring. Even here when he was starting to slow down in his 40s, he could still really go. So I'm sure this match in 1987 was terrific. Let's go to our main event. Let's see what we get. 87. Solid score. The Midnight Rockers get the win, but it's by count out, so there is no title change. But this is a great score. There's a lot of green here. This is a nice, good match. Let's see what the downfalls were. Obviously, it's the experience of the Rockers, the lack of experience, I should say. And Randy Rose is probably struggling a little bit on psychology, but that's truthful. Randy Rose was a good, solid, serviceable wrestler, but in my opinion, he wasn't top tier, but he was good. And with Dennis Condrey, they were a very good tag team. So excellent. We almost got about 4,800 people into the Gentile Center. So this is terrific. That's a nice card. 82 overall. We don't get a gain because, again, it's the end of the month here. So let's make some speeches. Yeah, there's some people I would like to single out. I think Dennis Condrey deserves some credit here. I think Kevin Kelly did a nice job. We better give him praise so he doesn't choke us out over a pay dispute. And I also think, who else did a really good job for us? Let's give Debbie Combs some credit because I think she had a good match. There we go. I don't quite understand the purpose of these speeches, but it's cool. All right, everybody's pleased. Everybody's happy. I'm happy. They're happy. I think Moose Cholak in this picture, he kind of looks like that one 70s porn star that's in prison now. I can't remember his name, but he looks a lot like him. Ron Jeremy. He looks like Ron Jeremy in that picture, no doubt. If you don't know who Moose Cholak was, he had a good career. He was a very entertaining wrestler. Andy Austin, who's a talented lady wrestler in Windy City, apparently she's dating. She's dating Mike Moran, who, if I'm correct offhand, plays Psycho, wrestles as Psycho of the Texas Hangman. All right, and there we go. They're telling us right in our inbox as if we care. All Star Wrestling got a nice score there. Who's tired? The Terrorist, of course. He's tired every week. He's wrestling once a week for us, sometimes 2 times a week, and he's tired every time. What are you going to do? Ron Fuller gets a divorce, which is realistic. I do think in real life he did get a divorce around this time. Let's see what the WWF did in their live event. Junkyard Dog over Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake must be heel at this point. They must have turned him heel in the game. But that's cool. Orndorff over Brad Rangans. So they're actually using Brad Rangans there in the WWF. Yeah, that means we don't have a chance to get him, but we'll keep an eye out. All right, here's the New Japan card. Inoki and Bigelow over Williams and Goto. Very nice. That's a nice 6-man right there. This is a good card. What did they get? They got an 84 overall. This is a good classic card for New Japan in 1987. I forgot they got Rick Steiner and Tommy Rich. Nice. Buzz Sawyer over a young Brian Adams. If you aren't familiar with Buzz Sawyer, that guy was quite the character in wrestling. Buzz Sawyer was a total legitimate badass. He was a big time amateur wrestler, and he was one of those guys that just was naturally very powerful, probably tendon strength. He was a mean SOB. He also was a trainer, if you want to call him that. He would take wrestlers' money, promise to train them, and then move on to another territory and steal their money. He did this with Magnum TA. He took thousands of dollars from Magnum TA and then took off. And he also did this to The Undertaker. The Undertaker started out being trained by Buzz Sawyer and a partner of his whose name escapes me at this moment. Can't remember his name, but he was a world-class talent. And Buzz Sawyer just took off one day with his money. Apparently, The Undertaker confronted him some years later, and Sawyer was ready to fight him, but The Undertaker did not want to fight Buzz Sawyer. There's also a famous story that Jim Cornette tells where the Midnight Express and him got into it with Buzz Sawyer in a match, and Buzz Sawyer came after them. And Cornette says that Dennis Condrey had his pistol ready because he was such a nasty character. There are many stories about Buzz Sawyer just being a nasty guy and seems to have not been a good human being overall. Would just steal money from people, take advantage of people, beat the shit out of people in the ring. He was just a nasty human being. He later died at a very young age of a drug overdose. So, for those of you that are familiar, remember Brian Adams. He came into the WWF as Crush, first with Demolition, and then several other incarnations of Crush. He also died young. I think Brian Adams was in his early 40s. He was a big dude. He was not a bad wrestler, later on in his career, but I think he is painful to watch early in his career as Crush when they tried replacing Axe with him in Demolition. It just did not have the right feel. They tried the three-man tag thing at first and then dropped Axe altogether, and Crush just did not work out. In 1987, I would not want to have watched Bryan Adams wrestle. I think he was not very good. He was a product of the New Japan Dojo, though, so he had the fundamentals to be a good wrestler. And I think later on in his career, he did become a very good wrestler. I enjoyed watching him, but those early Demolition years were just, ugh, I could not watch him. So, all right, let's see what happened in All Japan. Choshu over Sarada. Ooh, that's a huge match. Hansen and Tenta over the Funks. They're the International Tag Team champion team. Yatsu over Tenru. This is a Hall of Fame roster here. When you start talking about Tenru, the Funks, Saruda, Choshu, wow. What a roster. Not to mention Baba and Destroyer. Just what a stacked card. The original Tiger Mask also made a comeback at this time to All Japan. He didn't stay long, but he did make a comeback. And wow, what a stacked card they had going here. All right, so we do not have any messages our way. So that should do it for us for this episode. I'm glad you were with us. I hope you enjoyed. Next episode, we are moving on to tour date number 78 with a big headline of McDaniel and Von Raschke battling Rose and Summers. So this will be an exciting card. We get to see De Beers and Slaughter again. And this time they are traveling to Denver, Colorado. Get to see the Iron Sheik and Ray Stevens once again. This is another solid card. Another solid, fun AWA card for August of 1987. Thanks for joining us again, folks. I appreciate all your support. Please leave a comment if you'd like, if you have any questions or comments on this episode. Also, if you haven't already, please give us a like, subscribe. This will help us continue building. We're gaining new viewers every single day, and I want to keep this going. Also, if you'd like a copy of this mod, if you'd like to play it for yourself, visit my website, braddrake.net/contact. Drop me a line. I'll be happy to send over the Google link to you. Also, last but not least, come join us on our Facebook group. Talk about the 1987 Supermod with us. You can find it at facebook.com/1987Supermod. That's facebook.com/1987Supermod. To quote the late, great Gordon Soley, so long for now.